Hannah, lovely to see you. Hi, Hermione.
Hi.
Just felt like having my drum with me. We've got Aurora joining, so I'll let her in.
I'm actually making my lunch, so I'm a bit like in and out.
Okay, cool. Multitasking, multi-living.
Yeah.
Hi, Aurora. I can see that you're with us. We don't see your video, but that's. Oh, there you are. Now we can. Hi.
Hey.
Lovely to see you. I tried to live stream it to the Facebook group, but it can only live stream it to my public profile. So given that I promised this would be a private thing, we're doing it in here. So I trust that it's meant to be. Maybe it's better that way, so I'm not multitasking, trying to look at comments on Facebook, you know. Okay. So
Okay, that's posted in the group. Hi everyone, I'm Alba. I'm going to help Sabrina with a little bit of facilitation of the kind of managing of the call and maybe some questions and stuff as well. But obviously it's Sabrina's transmission today. So a little bit about me, I'm helping Sabrina with her online business strategy, getting everything implemented, like helping her to really get her magic out into the world even more. And today we had the idea that there needed to be some sort of a transmission around helping people to really access their power and magic as facilitators, because we all know in this industry online, there's lots of people out there doing their stuff, but there isn't a lot of spaces that are like properly designed to support people as leaders and facilitators. And lots of people come into a lot of struggle and burnout and feeling alone in that experience. And you really need someone that can properly hold that space. And that's what Sabrina offers. Like, and I'm sure some of you here have worked with Sabrina already, so you know that. But we wanted to start this chat to get that conversation out there, because there's loads of people selling you 10K months, but there's not a lot of people that are actually providing the right space for facilitators to really thrive and expand and do good work. So it's an important conversation.
yeah, we were having the conversation, Alba, weren't we? And first of all, I'm so grateful that I have Alba in my life. She's really supporting me, and I think that's part of the key that I've discovered for myself, that I need to thrive, is not trying to do everything on my own. So that's a lot of us empathic, intuitive people. We have this way often through all sorts of struggles and trauma growing up, that, and also I think we were like this already before we came into this body, but we have fine-tuned our intuitive senses often through being really attuned to what others need and being amazing at that. And often, so I don't want to speak for everyone, I'm speaking from my experience and for a lot of the clients and people and friends that I know in my life, but often we've ended up holding a lot for everyone and not allowing ourselves to actually be held. So we end up trying to do everything ourselves. And so for me, my biggest learning has been letting go of that and not thinking that I have to do it all myself, and allowing myself to receive and be supported in many, many different ways. And Alba is one of my supports, which I am so relieved. Since Alba's in my life, I feel like I can breathe and I can be my channel and I can do my thing without having to juggle a billion balls and burning out and getting fed up and getting bitter and all the things that as a projector in human design I can easily get. And so we were chatting, and I just want to say that this is part of the medicine that, you know, the last business meeting we had, but we joined up on the new moon, and I just started crying at the beginning of it, and then I hope that's okay.
And then I started crying.
And I was crying, and then I was like, "This is perfect. This is my kind of business meeting where we cry together. Like, this is like come through." So if I cry on this meeting, that's part of it. If you cry on this meeting or rage or whatever, please bring your emotions. I want a business where we bring our emotions. I want a space. But the point is, we just got it talking. And then I was like, well, we just have to have these conversations with other people as well. that's how
Yeah,
that's how this meeting came about. And yeah.
totally. So I guess we'll put a little bit of light structure around the call. We've decided that the first half of the call, more or less, without there is space to completely break the rule book as well and just go. But the first half it's gonna be more of like spoken style channel like transmission around that and directed around the energy that's going to be most resonant for this group of people now, but also trusting that that's going to resonate for more people that watch afterwards as well. And that after that space where we had decided that it would be lovely to have a volunteer, or if we have space, maybe more than one, that's up to Sabrina and the way things flow, but that someone may need like someone may have a specific area that they're finding their power, their magic as a facilitator is feeling like limited or impaired in some way, that they've been trying for a long time to break through and it's just not happening. So there's this beautiful opportunity to like have that here today. And obviously bearing in mind this recording will be available to more people. So just be mindful of that too, that you're comfortable with your process being shared.
This is going to be
It's important.
this video.
Yeah.
So share what feels comfortable to you and your boundaries. Yeah, that's really important.
It is, because this is another part that I think feeds into, and maybe this can feed nicely now into the conversation. It's like two things. I would say, if you have anything that is coming up for you for intentions, drop it in the chat box.
Yes, I was gonna actually,
Yeah.
but can I jump in there actually?
Please jump in.
So I would love to hear, since we're a nice small group right now on Zoom, I'd love to hear briefly from each of you here, if you want to share, you don't have to, what made you jump on this call right now, because then I can get a sense of, I think, if you can give me a brief sense of why are you here now, why did you jump on, what's alive in you, then I can also channel on that. So I would love that. And there's no pressure to share. Maybe you just jumped on because you like to hang out. There doesn't have to be a monumental reason. But yeah.
I can go.
Yeah, go for it, Aurora.
I like your energy a lot, and I feel like an inquisitive little child. So any chance to kind of see you in action lets me just have an openness and curiosity to like what might arise. So much has been changing over the past weeks that have been like esoterically bonkers, and yes, I guess I'm open to cosmic holding, which I feel you specialize in. That's what I would say.
Cosmic holding. Thank you. Alka's writing that one down. Thank you, Aurora, for your words. I really, really appreciate that, and I appreciate your energy here. I love your energy, and thank you for bringing it. And actually, before I ask anyone else anything else, I'm aware that some people watching this might be watching me for the first time, and it's very important that I explain why I yawn, because it could look that I'm really bored or rude or weird. Well, I am probably pretty weird, but I also as best as I can, grounded in this reality. And I yawn because I've learned that it's really powerful for me not to stop that instinct. And when I yawn, lots of things are going on. It's, on the one hand, it's my body saying yes. So it's like a real resonance. If I hear something or say something where it's particularly resonant, my body, my intuition says yes. And so it's like a confirmation, but it's also energy moving, energy clearing. there's an energy healing process that's happening with my yawn for me and those that are in my space. So it's kind of part of my medicine, and I don't stop it, because if I stopped it, it would literally feel horrible. And this is part of one of the things I want to talk about today. What makes us sick is when we're stopping our own medicine, or when we're suppressing our own power, suppressing our own voice. All that energy that wants to be given out there and shared in the world collapses inside and can clog up our energy fields and our power source and makes us sick and tired and depressed. And it's taken me a long time to realize this and figure it out fully. So part of why I do these calls is I have so much I want to give and transmit and share, and if I'm not doing it, I feel horrible. So I'm sharing from a place of a channel rather than like Sabrina trying to share, and I'm still human. So there's human parts of Sabrina that think they have to do something, and that's completely normal because we're here to be human and spirit together, learning this, figuring this out. So part of my transition, I think today we'll probably touch on that. How to balance the human with the spirit, the source, the infinite divine essence that we are, and how those two battling each other is part of one of the challenges that I have found personally, but can come up, that impacts our power and our magic and our ability to share it with the world. And Hermione says, I've been trying to clear whatever it is that is preventing new clients from working with me. I've cleared so much, yet it's still there. I also need to rewire my nervous system so I'm not holding others in the same way I had to hold my mom. Well, I think that's key. And that's probably, possibly, maybe we can muscle test why it's still not there, because there is a need to be held fully before you go to the next level of holding others. I went through that. You're yawning. Is that your yes? I went through that. I had one could say from a business point of view, a slow couple of years. I still did all the things I did, but I couldn't open up my programs to more people. I didn't have the capacity. And this is something that happens to all of us space holders. So thank you for raising that, because I'd like to talk to that if that's something that would interest all of you. I also love your work, so love to attend as much as I can that you offer. Thank you, Hermione. I love having you in these spaces. I always appreciate your shares. I love your energy too. So thank you. Hi, Hannah.
Hi. Yes, I am actually in the section. Sorry, stopping my teeth. Like eating my lunch. So it was unexpected. I thought like, in 5 minutes, and I just went for it. But what is interesting in my case, it's that recently I had a family constellation, and it was so profound. And then I noticed why I always felt like I don't belong and I'm excluded and I don't have issues with visibility, is because like I felt like my mom never seen me as I am, and I always felt like I was going through life like, right, just finding that I don't belong and I feel excluded. So maybe the energy healing could be also about that. So I feel more, maybe like I think Hermione that she mentioned, kind of nervous system that can hold it in a way. So that now that I feel like now I know it through the family constellation that my mom can see me, like everybody else can see me, and my system is okay with that, with being seen.
That's huge. That's huge. Yeah, you've been through a huge shift, Hannah. Thank you for sharing that. That's a really powerful example, because I'm sure you're not alone with that kind of theme, whether it's the mother, the father, or someone else, but that is so common. That is so common. Like when we show up as space holders, we bring our constellations with us, our family constellations, our ancestral constellations, our past life constellations, our our relationships from when we're growing up to now. Those templates are with us. So so many people that teach about business growth, or even like training courses on becoming a practitioner, it's like we think, oh, okay, I just apply that and then off I go. But it's like we're bringing with us, the unconscious is much bigger than the conscious. Conscious is the tiny tip of the iceberg. We can do all sorts of clever things up there. There's this whole other world that's driving the ship. And it's not linear. It is not linear in my experience. I am speaking from my experience, and some things will resonate, some things won't. And I'm not the all-knowing guru. I am humble Sabrina with her little piece of the pie. And what I love doing is facilitating group spaces where we have lots of different pieces of the pie together, pieces of the puzzle, And I always find that the wisdom comes through the group intelligence and through each person in the group. So part of our power comes from connecting with others and allowing others to teach us. And I learn from all my students, trainees, clients, friends, people in my life, colleagues, just as much. So my aspiration is to have spaces where we're learning from each other in that way. And one of my approaches is I invite people to think of it this way, that when you enter a group space, just like in any group in your life, the different people there represent aspects of you. Potentially. I'm inviting you to consider that. So it's not a coincidence who shows up. And there's a constellation healing that happens just through our presence together. Just through our intention. Like, even if we said nothing else for the rest of the call, though I think it's fun to share, there's something about energies coming together. And more and more and more, what I'm being shown or invited to explore is the power of your being more than your doing. And it doesn't mean that doing isn't powerful and necessary and wonderful and fun, because we're here as humans. We want to experiment, we want to try stuff out. We have bodies, like, let's use them, right? And it's our being, it's our frequency, it's our energy. And when we come together, different ones of us, there's a field of being that gets activated, that mushrooms out. So I'm aware that I'm channeling, so I don't even half the time know what I'm saying. I had no script for today. Now, that's hard for my human. My human was like, fuck, I need to have a plan. I need to know what I'm talking about. I need to have a PowerPoint presentation. No, I've given up on that. But, I need to have a pretend of some kind of like bullet points. And yeah, I probably do have them. I'm still a human being. Back of my head, I thought, oh yeah, I'll probably talk about this, this, and that. The truth is, I restrained myself from thinking further about it, because I work best when I show up and I let it channel and I respond to the group as well. But it's scary to do that. So, but that is what I found helped me to really step into my magic, has been to let my magic teach me. Like, my magic shows me. It's not like I have to go and find my magic. I need to be available for it, which is by getting out of the way as much as possible. I am making this vessel freer and freer and freer to receive her, it, he as well. All the energies, actually, of my magic coming through. Okay, as I'm speaking, as I'm yawning, things are occurring. Thanks for the heart, Hermione. So, Albo, are there any things you want to inquire podcast style to get me going?
Yeah. Yes, so much. Thank you. So it's so beautiful, the way that the questions that have come up and the way that's already woven into like some really key points. Is like the first one being about what makes us sick is when we're actually stopping that flow, that magic. Like with you and the yawning, it can be so tempting to be like, oh my God, this looks weird, let me not. And like when one is like really surrendered to like energy, it doesn't look very often palatable to like normal humans. It's like, why are we doing all this stuff, right? Yes, that's sort of a key initiation for people to sort of walk through, isn't it? Where it's like sort of like choreographed dance versus ecstatic dance. It's like one does look very nice, but the other one is like what your body actually wants to do.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Yeah. I love that. You expressed that beautifully. Yes.
Yeah. So is that one of like that piece? I feel like I would love for you to go into like, is that a thing that you help people with inside the mastermind? Like, how can you really get out of the way and allow what's wanting to come through? And how do we hold space for your human to not freak out and like burn everything down because of the act of you stepping into that portal?
Well, Oh, my yawn likes your question. So the other thing, with the yawn comes my eye watering, so that's why I'm constantly wiping my eyes. I'm not crying, although there's nothing wrong if I did cry, but I'm just saying. Sabrina, is she all right? Is she really tired? I'm not. Are you really tired? Do you need a nap? I love napping, but no, that's not the issue here. In fact, I'm normally full of energy when I'm yawning. How do we not? I'm going to start from the end of your question. How do we not let the human freak out and burn the whole shebang down? So, show of hands or show of hearts, or how many of you have found that your human tends to try and burn the whole shebang down? Ooh, my little AI hand. Okay, great. I'm looking forward to hearing comments from people that watch the replay, because hopefully we can all feel together in this. So I think one of the hardest things is that on social media, everything looks like shiny object, wonderful. Everyone talks about their successes and how great everything is and how they've manifested incredible things. And so everyone else, whether human is like trying to burn the whole shebang down, feels shame, feels like, oh God, what have I done wrong? Why am I failing? Why am I behind? And that's one of the most, I think, painful aspects of what can happen with the comparisonitis with social media. The truth is, we're all human and we're all built the same way as human beings. So we all have parts that are trying to burn the whole shebang down. Like, I am 100% sure of that. If I went into the unconscious mind of every human on this planet, I would find that. I really don't think this is just the small sample of people that I work with. Also based on literature and what we read about other people sharing their stories. And so the most important piece, this is going to sound so like, I don't know what. Okay, my mind was saying, this is going to sound so trite, Sabrina. The most important piece is love. The most important piece is love and acceptance and truth, and being able to be truthful with ourselves and others and say, oh my God, this is how I'm feeling. This is how I'm freaking out. This is what my parts, I realize, are feeling and saying and terrified of. And the minute we say that in a space with others that are compassionate and empathic and doing this journey together because we really care for real, it soothes our nervous system. It's like, oh, I'm not alone. Oh, maybe there's nothing wrong with me. Maybe I'm not behind. Maybe I'm not failing. Maybe there's no such thing as failure. Maybe the journey is the destination. Maybe the whole point is to be present to what is. And just that alone feels to me like the 90% of the whole thing, really. Like without that key ingredient, energy work, which can be incredibly powerful, can be done from a place of lack, fixing, there's something wrong with me, and you can perpetuate that same wounding over and over and again, and you can end up being in endless cycles of healing and dissatisfaction and frustration and feeling like there's something wrong with you if you haven't gotten to a particular ideal destination that your mind has decided you need to get to be worthy or safe. So you're always waiting to get somewhere to be worthy and safe instead of connecting in the here and now with your inner ground of your essence, of your being, of your spirit. I see that as a channel, as a column of energy, as well as you can see it in many different ways, actually. Okay, I'm burping. Sabrina burp is like a yawn times 10. So what I want to say, what wants to come through? A lot of what I'm going to say today and in general is full of paradoxes as well. So some of it might sound contradictory. And I'm going to read Hannah's comment in a minute. I feel like part of the work individually and collectively is to make space for all the parts that are terrified, that want to burn the whole house down. There is something in their fear, there is a gift. In their fear, there is a wisdom. In their fear, there is a gold piece. You're not just doing it to appease them. You're not just doing it because that's what you need to do to get everybody on board. There's actually, they are guardians of a cave that has potentially held trauma, but also has a gift and has a soul gift. It has a soul piece often. It has your true genius in that process itself. And this is not an intellectual process. I want to see what Hannah says. I feel like there's something around my head. Okay, I'll have to clear that. Okay, great. Thank you, by the way, for sharing any physical stuff that's coming up. It can be really helpful. Communication. I can already feel my system reorganizing what you're saying, says Hermione. Oh, that's great. It's really interesting to hear that. Curious. You don't have to necessarily share it, but I'm just curious what reorganizing feeling like or looking like. And you may not have words for it, so don't push the words at all. I like that though. And also I'm mindful I'm doing hand movements. I'm just channeling them. They're doing something. I don't quite know what that is, but I'm just trusting that. Now, it's taken a while for me to get to this place where I can actually let myself be fully myself in this way. There's a part of me that feels emotional when I say that. Like I could cry. Yeah. This feels vulnerable, and it feels really special to be vulnerable. And this is what happens in my groups. We're vulnerable with each other in this way, including myself. I mean, I'm the space holder, so my priority is everyone else feeling safe, not feeling like they have to hold me because they're used to holding everyone else. So that's really, really, really important. That's an important piece as a facilitator. We need to know that we are the space holders when we are in that role. And I'm so keen that nobody pedestals me or thinks that I've got all my shit sorted out. So I also want to model that I'm human too, and I'm on this journey too. Because otherwise we feel like we're either behind or on track. Like we feel like there's a schedule and that we're missing the train, and we're not. And every time I work with a client, what comes up through them is I always recognize there's something in there for me. Like the healing we do for them, oh my God, there's a piece of this for me. We're not behind or in front. I really don't feel that. Okay, I might have a certain number of years of experience and training and all that jazz, sure. But when we're in this space together, we're like humans walking each other home. I really, really feel that. This is how I operate anyway. It's tingling up and down my spine and in my head, like my neural pathways are reorganizing for my nervous system too. It's really, really interesting. I'm curious if there's something about being in a group space where we're sharing, whether that makes a difference to your system hearing these words, whether that amplifies it if you were just in a one-to-one situation. Are you trying to say something, Aurora? Yeah? Or is that
Yeah, for sure. There's like it feels like a togetherness, which is like amplifying, and just feels like quite it feels like strong. Just feels like lots, like continuous stream of truth that's like don't really need to think. It just goes in straight to the body.
Thank you. I feel like whatever channels through, whether it's my voice, your voices, it's not just Sabrina's higher self speaking. Do you know what I mean? It's like there's a group intelligence that feeds in when we come together that compounds. That's why I much prefer doing stuff like this, like live channeled stuff with other people versus thinking, oh, I'm going to talk about this topic and then I'm going to present it and then we'll see what people say. It's just not as alive. Doesn't mean I can't do that, and it doesn't mean I might not do that, but yeah. So that's confirming that for me, Aurora. Thank you. Oh, where on earth did I go, Alba? So I talked about holding the human, the parts that are trying to burn the whole thing down. That when you investigate what's really going on there, they're holding a gift sacred. They're holding a sacred gift for you, frozen in time, waiting for the right moment when you can unlock it.
Yeah.
And it might be in layers. There might be layers to that, to access what's deep in that cave. So not only are they not the enemy, not only are they a problem to vanquish or resolve, they are your very solution, although my whole talk is against this idea of a problem versus solution anyway, but they are something that's long.
I liked the way you said solution.
Oh yeah, I noticed that. Thanks. Yeah.
Solution. Yeah, it's great.
I think you need to see part of the evolution of your soul is this. So in that sense, there are no problems. In that sense, I always say what's in the way is the way. So what you consciously think is in the way in a problem is the way, is the medicine. Nobody else can tell you what your way is. You are the only one, because you are being led by yourself. Other people can assist you along the way, but they're not the true leaders. You are the leader of yourself. I think that's part of the challenge, is that we look to others for help, which is great. We're not supposed to do it alone. We look to others for help, and often when we do that, we give our power away, and we think the other has the answer that we don't have, and so then we're in an endless seeking, and we may not realize the incredible depth of treasure and wisdom that's right here in you, in your heart, in the very heart that's having pain. It's right in there. And how to stay connected to others and receive while staying connected to self and your own vessel of giving and receivership. I don't think there's an answer to that question. I think asking the question invites awareness so that we can stay in touch with both. Usually, as human beings, we have a tendency to be super in the self, protecting from the other, or super in the other, losing the self. And so wherever you're at, it's kind of good to be aware of that you can like stretch the comfort zone a bit and allow more of the wholeness to come into you. Oh, this is going so much more right brain than I thought. Alba, go. Bring me back. Give me something to hook onto.
I'll bring you back, but you're gonna go right off again. I know it. So don't worry. The what keeps coming up for me is this piece about, and Aurora said it beautifully, about the cosmic holding, because there's a big difference between, if you go through this initiation, you step into the portal of space holding as a profession. And a lot of us make the mistake of thinking, oh, it's just a business. It's not just a business. You've stepped into a massive portal of transformation and initiation. And when your human starts to unravel, which is, like you say, it's not that things are going wrong, it's part of you unlocking your magic. You need the cosmic holding of a space like Sabrina's, rather than going to somewhere where the solution you're going to be given is a bit more 3D, shall we say, where it's like, that's causing problems, so shut that door and come onto this path again, right? Which can be tempting for people, because it is a massive initiation. There are going to be challenges as you reorient to your magic.
Yes.
And the piece that you said about where people, and I feel like it came up with the things that people were saying about bringing your constellation with you. Like, part of what is going to be amplified when you step into this portal of space holding is your constellations are going to be amplified and reflected back to you in a big way. So whether that's you're used to holding everybody else and nobody holds you, that's going to massively show up in your business. Or, like you've said, the mother situation, you might meet your mother and all of your clients, or whatever else it is. Yeah. So that piece about, you said it so beautifully, when we become a space holder, we bring our constellation with us. How do you work on that inside the space?
Okay. So first of all, we become aware of it. We have a space where we can talk about it, where we can de-shame it, and we can break it down. We can muscle test. That's one of my methods that I use to intuit. We can use my yawn, and maybe, there's no pressure to, but maybe Hannah's in my spaces. If she wants to share, she can, but I really don't want to put the spotlight on you. I'm aware I just said that without any preempting of that. So I didn't know who was going to show up today. So we use that information. Like, that information is gold. So by knowing it's there, you can go in and you can clear the stuff that is repeating through loops, through grids, through old fields of information, through trauma that's stuck in the body and the energy fields, etc., we can use energy work, really powerful energy work, to clear a lot of the kind of stuff that's solidified from old experiences that has kind of like created a shape in your field, sort of like causing that to create to repeat. That's the energy work side of it. The other side is what we're doing here. It's just the being open about it, the talking about it, the holding about it, the loving it. And that is like a crucial part of these parts. Need to feel safe, need to feel heard, need to know that you're going to actually listen to what they're trying to say. And part of the multidimensional work when we're in sacred space is it's not our brains doing this. The channeling that comes through the sacred space and the source connection and the connection with our higher selves that we come in together brings back the soul retrieval piece, the energy that's been hidden away, that's trying to come back in. So it's a mixture of healing the parts that have tried to protect us and maybe stop us from going there too soon, and clearing and releasing the old beliefs and traumas and stuck emotions that have been crystallized around that. And as we shed like the old skins, the old shells that weren't really us, we not only uncover what was there in the first place, but actually we can also bring back the energies that we rejected of ourselves, that is our true power. We can actually bring it back into our vessel, because our vessel can now be open for it. How that happens, how that works, well, we can do some demoing in a minute when I kind of showcase sort of the kind of energy work I do. So there's lots of modalities out there. There's lots of ways that we can do this. It's not like my way is the only way. Like that's really, really important, you know, because you said something, Alba, earlier. You know, we need to be held when we're holding space for others. I think that's really important. And it doesn't mean you have to come into my group. Like, I know we're here and I'm talking and I'm sharing what I do. I think there's some key ingredients that I would recommend. So I would recommend, if you're going to be held, that you find someone that's doing the work and has done the work themselves and is humble enough to know that that's crucial, and so isn't deluded that they don't have anything left to learn. Like that's really dangerous. I'm learning every day from all my clients. The more I know what I don't know. And that's really important. Having a community of peers is really important. So you're not just relying on one person's wisdom. And I'm a big fan of having spaces with peer supervision. Like you want other people to show your blind spots and bring in different perspectives. So I have that in my mastermind program. I think that's one of the best bits about it personally. And so ideally, in my experience, what you need is a space where you can have your own healing, where you don't have to be perfect and know it all, where you can like rest for a second and be like, oh my God, I'm really struggling with this. You can let it out, you can vent, your inner child gets held. Your inner child doesn't have to be the parentified child all the time, like it was growing up. And you have a space with your peers supporting you, where you can get wisdom from other people too. And when you have access to learning that expands your comfort zone beyond your current knowing, where you get stretched, where you're like, oh, okay, there's more out there, there's more possibility, there's more power, there's more that can be brought in. And I think those are really, really powerful things. I think giving yourself the space to go through the initiation. So what you said, it's like when you start a healing business, you're not just, you think you're starting a business, you're not starting a business. You're starting an initiation into your greatest gifts and into your greatest shadows, if you're doing it right. Okay, this is a judgment. I have clearly an opinion. When I say if you're doing it right, what I mean is if you're really going all in to the full depths of your being. Not everybody does that, and that's perfectly okay. If you're someone that follows me and is here, you probably are someone that wants to go into the full-on depth of your being and your learning and your growth. Otherwise, you wouldn't be attracted to me. We just wouldn't cross paths. Or you'd think, oh my God, she's so fucking weird, go away, which is fine. So you might say, oh my God, she's so fucking weird, great, I want to hang out with her. So if you're someone that wants to go all in, you're also someone driven. You're also someone that has a big vision, most likely, and wants to, you know, there's probably a part of you pushing you all the time to the next level, into like the next dream and vision and idea. And there's probably a part that's driving that, which could be exciting. It could also be overwhelming. And therefore you will also have all the other parts, the shadow, not so shadow probably, because you're probably quite familiar with it now, the parts that are like pulling you in the opposite direction at the same time. And what you want is a space where you can safely, what's the word? Where you can hold both at the same time and more. Hannah, were you putting your hand up, or did I imagine that? Okay. Yeah. Personally, those are the ingredients that I need. And that's also what I happen to provide, because I tend to give what I need. And I think as space holders, we tend to do that. We often give the medicine that we need. Yeah. And I think the key point in all this is to be surrounded by the right energies that resonate for you. So that's why there isn't one right approach. It's like, it's about what resonates.
Yeah, so great. So bearing in mind with time and stuff, I don't know, do you have more you want to speak on, or questions? And or we can go into some of the, like, if someone wants to volunteer. So whatever you feel ready for.
Yeah, I think I'm done with just talking. I'd love to bring other people's energies in and do some clearing and
Wonderful.
sharing.
So good.
Oh, Hannah's about to say something.
Yeah, I just wanted to like pitch in just one thing, but I've been working with Sabrina in a mastermind for 3 years now, and this was the most life-changing support I could ever receive. So I'm super grateful. It's the best journey, the best container to be truly ourselves and be held in as a practitioner or just as a person. It's just so amazing. So just wanted to add it.
Thank you, Hannah. I mean, what is it that you think what are the ingredients in that you think are helpful, just so that other people can be aware of it and not, what is it, do you think, that helps?
I think it helps. I don't know, it's like everything, of course, but I guess like the way you're holding our space, that we can be just completely ourselves, the most vulnerable, and in terms of business, personal things all together, and having this, as you say, in a group setting, we can hold each other. And when doing these powerful healing sessions, it's just, it's mind-blowing sometimes. So yeah. It's like, as you say, shedding layers and layers and layers and layers, and it's a beautiful process.
Well, thank you for sharing that, Hannah. It's really wonderful to have you in that space. So precious. Every person's energy in that space is so precious and makes the space. Like, it really, really does. It's the kind of group that I would want to go to if I was a client. So I created it myself. It was very hard for me to find this out there in the world. So when I always had to look in different places for different pieces of the different ingredients. I'd go somewhere for mentorship, somewhere for peer support, somewhere for more training, somewhere else for, it's like I wasn't able to find one place that did all of it in the way. And so then I kind of created it, because I was like, well, that's what I would want. And they say you should create what the ideal client wants. Well, I'm sorry, I'm the ideal client, so I create what I want, and then hopefully hopefully some people want that too. It's not just me.
No, absolutely. I think I would be out of business within 1 week if I didn't have Sabrina's mastermind, because there are just so many cases that we can bring of the clients, and it's always in interaction with us, right? Our clients bringing up aspects of ourselves. So we are healing, and at the same time, we're getting the knowledge and tools and information we need to help others. So it's invaluable, literally.
Thank you. That makes me so happy. This makes me keep going with what I'm doing, because we're humans and we need to like feel that what we're doing is worth the energy. So where should we go next?
So obviously complete openness to you as the space holder, but there is a beautiful question that Hermione brought in the beginning, which is, I've been trying to clear whatever it is that preventing new clients from working with me. And I'd imagine that's one of the key things that people who are space holding will bring as a typical issue that requires work. So would you have anything to say about that, or would you like to work on that? Like,
Shall we
I
work
would just
on
put
it?
that on.
Hermione, do you feel safe to do that? Yeah.
Yes, like 100% yes.
Okay. And Hannah, I'm also aware that you also mentioned something around your head, so I don't want to ignore that. Is that still going on? Yeah, it's ongoing, just to check. Okay. So I'm going to dive in with Hermione first, and then we'll see. Is that all right? Okay. So Hermione, obviously bearing in mind that this is going to be publicly available, only share what feels safe to share, and you don't have to share much at all if you don't want to. Is there anything more you want to say on it, or what would feel good? Or otherwise, if you don't want to speak on it, I can just channel, but let me know.
Yeah, I'm happy to share some bits around it. So I feel like, as you said earlier, for years I've had slow years, and I clear something and I think, okay, this is going to be it now. Clients are going to come. I've cleared that thing, and I feel my capacity's opened up. But then somehow my capacity shrinks again. And so I've cleared lots of barriers. I've cleared witch wounds. I'm most recently working on repatterning my nervous system, so I'm not holding my clients in the way that I needed to hold my mum, because they actually don't need that from me, but it's an old pattern that's set up in me, which means I actually don't have capacity. So there's a part of me that really wants to work with more people, and there's a part of me that's like, absolutely no way, got no more capacity for that at all. And then there's the part of me that really would like to earn some money, because I really haven't got any.
Yeah.
And I don't want to feel that I can't do this anymore, because I've put so much into it and I love working this way. But also I can't work doing this the way I have been. So it's got to change. And I want it to change. I'm ready for it to change.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you. That you shared that really beautifully and really powerfully, how you've realized that the capacity has kept fluctuating for you. Like you get ready to expand and go, and then it kind of shrinks back down again, and you've identified that your nervous system is such a mirror of your pattern historically of holding your mother, holding the other in a particular way. And this is so common, by the way, what you're saying. So many therapists, in fact, I would almost go out on a limb and say maybe all therapists, healers, and coaches and spiritual healers, we come from a background where we did this growing up without knowing it, probably, but we did this. And so then we start doing it for a living, and it's our gift. We're really good at it thanks to our childhood patterns. So we do it. And then when we try and grow, lots of us are like, no, I'm sick and tired of it. I don't want to do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. And in a way, they're probably right, like you said, because they're showing you that you don't have to do it the way you used to anymore, if I'm hearing you right. And so it's an invitation into a new way. But you're in limbo still, and you're still repatterning, and you're still learning what that could be. And there's other parts of you that are in survival mode maybe, and are impatient, and they want it now. And that probably stresses the other ones out. It's basically a repetition of that old pattern of being forced into something. And luckily they don't want you to force it anymore. That's amazing. Like, that's a gift. Like, they're giving you a taste of a whole new world. And so, yeah, one of the things, is it okay if I also share how this relates to what I learned through my own experience?
Yeah, absolutely.
One of the things I went through, because I had a very similar pattern, I'd be ready to leap, but then something would happen. Like last year, I broke my ankle just before I was ready to do my retreat in the mountains where you have to hike to get there. I'm sorry, but if that's not an obvious message from parts of me, I don't know what is. So it's like there's you know, I've had to contend with that part of me that's like, I don't want to be the parentified child anymore. I don't want to hold all the shit for everyone anymore. Like my inner child was on strike for years. Aurora and I literally were talking about this the other night. So it's, there's a part of me that almost wants to say, I think this is going to really annoy you, Hermione, possibly, and I don't think this is necessarily true. So bear with me with my paradoxes. I'm just going to channel it out. Part of me wants to say, sometimes you just got to let it run its course. Like sometimes trying to heal it is almost like impatiently trying to like make it go quicker than it has to go. And sometimes we just need to follow the complete surrendering to really like satisfy those parts that want to experience something. So maybe there's certain parts that really want to experience not working hardly much at all. And maybe they need that experience for a few years. Now, the part of us that wants to have a successful business says, this is not practical. I'm not saying we have to give in to those parts necessarily. I'm just voicing all the possibilities here. Because to some degree, I needed to do that for myself. Like, just keep it slow and small for a while.
It has been slow and small for quite a while.
Yes, and I hear what you said when you said, oh, but I'm really ready now. So there comes a maturing time of the fruit. I guess what I'm trying to say is nature, let's look at nature. We need to let the time for the ripening occur.
Mm-hmm.
And then there comes a time when we are ripe, but we're not quite dropping from the tree. So I guess it depends where you think you're at with that. There's a child crying in the street.
Right. I think I'm in the process of ripening. Like the blush is starting to happen on the fruit. And I'm also aware within this, there's a big piece around receiving and allowing myself to receive. And that's receive money, receive clients, receive rest, receive help, all, you know, all the ways of receiving love. So I've been working with that as well.
Okay. So is it okay if I dive in now with muscle testing and saying what I'm sensing? So I muscle test. This is my way of giving a yes answer when I try and separate the fingers. That's a yes if it's strong. If I push and it gives way, it's a no. So I'm doing that, and I'm asking questions. So what I was sensing there, I had it and it's gone. What was it? Oh, that's really interesting. I had it and it's gone. So that's interesting in itself. Okay. So can you just say the words yes, Hermione, please?
Yes.
Great. Can you say no?
No.
Great. Could you put a hand above your head? That's strong. Can you turn the palm towards the ceiling? That's weak. Okay, good. So that's just a test. Hermione is familiar with this test, but just to check that her energies are not switched so that I can get a consistent yes and no answer. Can you say I have an entanglement with other people's needs?
I have an entanglement with other people's needs.
So how does that feel when you say that? Does that feel true?
Yeah.
Yes, and Hannah had a you on too, which is really helpful. Thank you. This is a part of me specifically? You say those.
This is a part of me specifically.
Yeah. Okay. Is it in your high school that we find out the age? Yes. And perception? No. Is it current life? Yes. Do you feel okay with us finding out? Okay. 0 to 5, 5 to 10, 5, 6, 7. 7-year-old. Now, if we had more time, we'd really go into a whole process, get you in touch with your 7-year-old. I know you do this work a lot, Hermione, so I'm just going to trust that we can try and dive in if you're okay with that. So
yeah.
If you were to guess, if you were to channel your 7-year-old, oh, if you let her speak, what would she say? What's her fear? What's her ambivalence? What?
Yeah, I mean, I can do this really quickly. So my 7-year-old is here, and she's really monitoring my mum. Like, what mood is my mum in? What's going to be okay? Don't say that. Do say this.
Yeah, great. We've got some yawns going on. Excellent. Thank you so much, 7-year-old of Hermione, for voicing this. We're really grateful that she's trusting us. That sounds really hard, to be on alert all the time. I can imagine it's hard for her to relax. What's going to happen if she doesn't do that? What is she scared of? If you feel like sharing, don't only share what you feel safe. Okay.
It's just not safe. Yeah, there's punishment and exclusion.
Painful. What does she think is going to happen if you suddenly get lots of clients?
Oh, just immediately it feels overwhelming. Like, there's only so many people I can hold doing it like this.
It's too much for your 7-year-old. Absolutely. There's no way. And I just want to speak to her to let her know that she doesn't have to do that. You don't have to do that. It's not on your shoulders. Seven-year-old Hermione did a bloody incredible job. Do you tell her that? Does she know that? You know that you feel that about her?
No, I haven't.
How would it feel does adult Hermione believe that?
Yeah, I can see it now. Yeah.
What do you see?
That she had a lot on her young shoulders. And it was not that anyone, specifically asked her explicitly to do this, but it was a big ask for a little person.
Feeling so much love for her.
And just this bereft feeling that there's no other adults around to help. I mean, my parents are still married, but my dad is the classic physically present, emotionally absent father.
Yeah, bereft. She would have loved to have others backing her. Yeah. I don't want to take away from you at all. I'm just curious how many people in this room currently relate to Hermione's story. Don't speak, just put your hand up if you relate. Like, we're here with you, Hermione. Like, you're definitely not the only one to do that. That felt alone in it. That felt like it was too much. That pushed through, did the job, and now I don't want to do any more of that.
Mm-hmm.
Done. But I don't know what else to do.
Yeah. What might it look like if I don't do that? Like, is my world just going to fall around my ears?
So there's millions ways we could go down a path now. Many different modalities would approach this in similar and different ways. So what I'm feeling, let me know what you think. It's interesting. I really feel sadness, which is really interesting. So yeah, I'm just noticing that. Maybe I'm just feeling the sadness of what you're describing. Oh, there's a big yawn, big resonance. I'm just struck by how many of us humans parts have been holding that. And I think we're holding it not just for ourselves, but our ancestors. Like, we have ancestrally inherited this pattern as well. And we're at a time in history where we know we can't keep going this way anymore, any of us. So,
Yeah, that really resonates. I know that there's a huge pattern of parentification in my maternal line.
so my inspiration was, what if we went into source and we created a new structure, something that would hold the 7-year-old, that would represent all the adults' help that she wished she could have had, and anything else that she wishes she could have had. Like, if she could, like, shoot for the stars and have it, she could have all that summed up in one big nice feeling that came with this structure that would just hold her and all of you and your clients and your business and anything you might do in the future and anything that you might ever want to create. What does that feel like if I invite that?
Yeah, it feels amazing. And that kind of like tearful release feeling, like, oh my God, been waiting my lifetime for this.
Okay. So I think this is going to help so many. So why don't we go into sacred space and do that? And why don't we all receive it? I think I would love it too, personally. Okay. So I'm going to invite us into sacred space. So invite us to close our eyes if that's safe, but we can absolutely keep them open if that feels safer. And I also going to invite us into a particular type of sacred space, into the blue diamond field of my mentor, Phil Mullen, that Hermione is also familiar with, but I'm going to talk it through for us. So hand on the heart chakra, and the other hand, the top of the fingers, just gently touching this point just under the collarbones, this high heart chakra point where I've got my fingers. And there's no pressure to have to hold your hands in this way. If you don't want to, if it hurts to hold the hands, just let them rest in your lap. Everything I say is an invitation. There's no should or must in any of it. Taking a few deeper breaths without forcing the breath, but just allowing ourselves to come to this moment, noticing our breath pattern right now. Maybe we're holding it a bit, whatever's happening to the breath, just noticing it. I yawn, that's my way of kind of releasing. If you need to sigh, you can sigh. Just allowing yourself into this moment. At the base of your collarbones here, at this point at the top of your top heart chakra, I want you to imagine a blue diamond, beautiful blue shiny diamond with a silver core. This is a portal to your highest dimensions of your source connection, of your divine aspect. I want you to go into this point, into this blue diamond. I want you to breathe into it and expand it and allow it to grow and become big and huge, like a big balloon that you're blowing into, and it's going all around your body, all around your auric field and your energy, all around your 7-year-old, and all parts, all of us listening to this that relate to this, all around all parts of you that you feel have a resonance with this that we're talking about. And we're going to bring it around all of us, all aspects of us, everything that needs help right now. If you're listening to this and there's something bothering you, put it around that. Let this blue diamond, first of all, hold it. Oh. Then in a moment, I'm going to invite you to create a copy of the blue diamond just through your intention and command. Like you're clicking copy and paste. You're creating a copy and you're going to send it all the way up above your head into the depths of the universe and beyond. With your out breath, with your intention, sending this copy of the blue diamond high above you. And here we're going to activate it and we're going to ask it to start spinning clockwise, creating a vortex of energy and light. It's going to start bringing in support and energy and new codes, new breath, your higher self and your divine aspect. It's fully plugging you into your source connection, into your higher self connection. Don't worry if some of my words don't make sense to any listening. Just trust the process. But if you don't trust, that's okay. Be with that. And then in the next out breath, I'm going to ask you to send another copy of the blue diamond all the way down into the core of the earth. I'm going to invite you to send it down into what I call New Earth, the healed version of the earth, the whole version of earth. Here we're going to invite it to start spinning anti-clockwise, creating a vortex of energy that's coming up around you, your parts, your 7-year-old, and we're going to ask it to start clearing and cleansing anything that needs clearing, anything that needs releasing, including any fears or blocks to releasing. I'm going to also ask to run the reversal alchemy with anything, any reversals that might be going on to receiving this healing. I'm going to invite your higher self connection, Hermione, and Source in the blue diamond field, which is magnified, amplified by all of us here holding space across time. We're going to invite in, through your deepest wisdom, your higher self, your source connection. Source, we ask for you to bring in a divine structure, a beautiful divine structure that is exactly right, in this case for Hermione, for each of us listening, tailored to each one of us. The exact structure that your inner child needs, all the things she wished she could have received and didn't. The love, the soothing, the holding, the validation, the reassurance, the responsibility, the awareness, parentifying, the parenting, the nurturing, the power, empowerment, the holding. Whatever it is that she didn't get. Whatever it is that she needs now to feel held. Your higher self is creating this, downloading this from the highest realms of your divine aspect. Your divine architect is designing it perfectly for you. Allow your inner architect to play with this. Allow it to create what would be fun, what would be good, what would feel good. I'm seeing in mine as like a comfy corner with lots of cushions and rugs and blankets, and there might not be any images. You might literally just see a grid and a structure, which is beautiful. Don't force it to be anything other than what it is for you. Just inviting you to play with it. So if there's anything that your inner delight would love to have in it, allow it to be there. I'm going to ask for the structure to ground in, and I'm going to ask for your entire blueprint to be realigned, your entire grid to be realigned. I'm going to command to remove any errant coding in any points of your grid, any distortions that might be in the way of this landing, any old grids, any false grids, any distorted or corrupted grids, any outdated grids, outdated structures, outdated fields of energy, beliefs, realities of I need to hold space in this way for this many people in this way, this is what has to happen. Whatever the old beliefs, experiences have been in your life, both as a child and also with your practice, all those outdated fields of energy, all those realities that have happened before, that has been your experience, we're going to command to desynchronize them, to let them clear and release and collapse and extract them from your field. So I'm going to ask your guides that are experts at extraction, who love coming in, doing psychic surgeries, even if you've never met them before, whoever is listening to this beyond just us right now, I'm going to command them to come in and start pulling out old energies. And if anything doesn't feel okay, Hermione, please tell me. So please stay in touch with me through this process. If there's anything you want to share about what's going on, please share. For Hermione, specifically, I'm asking this now.
Just going to share that my 16-year-old has joined us as well, and she's in this sacred space as well.
Great. Is there anything she needs to say or share at all? Is there anything she needs particularly?
No.
Do your parts feel safe to receive this? Is this feeling okay?
Yeah.
Great. Wonderful. Any other parts that want to join, please join. Oh, we welcome you. We welcome you, and we thank you so much for all that you have done until now. All that you have held until now. All your wisdom has been dying to unlock.
Yeah, so I'm just going to share that a whole host of other ones have now joined as well, from conception, crawling toddler, toddling toddler, primary, kindergarten. Yeah, so there's loads of them.
Great. Does that feel safe? Does that feel good to have them?
Yeah, feels nice, and they're all finding their own like blanket or beanbag or cozy space.
Amazing.
And they've all got like things that are nice, so either rattles and toys or a pile of books or some colouring pencils, or just nice things, nice activities that they enjoy doing.
Oh, it feels really good when you say that. Oh, I love it. Ooh, my inner parts like this. They're going to adopt some of this too. Okay. So I'm going to ask this structure to bring you everything you need for all these parts of you and for your adult Hermione in the now that has a healing business, who has clients. I'm going to ask for whatever needs to happen in terms of an inner reorganization. Anything that needs to be released, like old ideas and beliefs, can be released, but also to bring in all the pieces that are needed energetically, soul pieces, power pieces, grids, reality, timelines that can assist you, gifts, whatever wants to come from whatever dimension is in the highest good. Obviously, we're working with source energy here, so only things of the true light are going to be assisting here. To be clear, that's the intention. Anything that needs to come in that's going to hold not just you, but the business. It's going to hold the clients, it's going to hold the whole operations. Any old false grids that are attached to your business itself, to the operation of holding space for other people. Professionally, we're going to ask to clear what needs to be cleared at that level. Old ideas, old beliefs, old realities, old inserts. So on the true sovereignty clearing activation protocol, activating the healing temple technology here to do a really profound and deep and easy, clear, fast shedding here. Pulling out the old energies, the old beliefs, the old ideas, the old realities. Bringing in something completely brand new, potentially.
So I'm just going to share what's happening in my mind's eye. So a whole load of things that represent nourishment have popped up, like glasses of milk and plates of biscuits and bowls of fruit and some cake, and so like various foodstuffs whole load of plants have popped in as well. There's now some kind of celestial vortex or column in the middle, which is representing, I think it was when you said something brand new.
Yeah.
Oh.
Amazing. Receive that right now. Let this cosmic column integrate to your body.
And also when you were doing the pulling out bit, there was a sense of like some material being unclipped and just pulled away, like an old blanket or something like that, just being pulled out.
Yeah.
Oh, and this celestial column, so it's like navy blue with glittering stars in it, is expanding out and filling the space. And yeah.
Oh, it sounds divine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the space is for me is a dodecahedron space. So the pentagram in a what's it called? Platonic solid.
That's a really powerful sacred geometry shape. That's really, really powerful. I'm sure that's connecting you to wisdoms from other planets, realities, dimensions, something.
Yeah, I have a real connection somehow with drawing the 5-pointed star and connecting the points up.
That sounds really powerful and really important to keep diving into that and to actually come back to this cosmic column, I don't know what to call it, this thing that you're connected to right now, to really connect with it, feed it with your just with your love and your awareness and your connection, your curiosity, and see where it takes you over time. What gifts it has for you, what medicine it has for you, and what new guidance it has for you. What if you let this guide you? What if you let this be your business coach? What if you let this be your attractor, but also let this be the one doing the work? What if your human just takes the next steps, doesn't have to do it, it's just the vehicle through which it's happening. All you need to do is take care of your vehicle, drink, eat, sleep, love yourself, nourish yourself, hang out with lovely people that you love hanging out with, hang out with yourself, nature, whatever it is, and let this cosmic energy inform you. It's not your 7-year-old or any other year old anymore doing this. They can chill out in their corners, whatever they want to do. Something else is going to do it. How does that feel when I say that? Can you connect in with that?
Yeah, it feels so spacious, which is the opposite to how I'm used to feeling. I'm used to feeling quite constricted and constrained, and it feels so spacious.
Yeah, it's like before you were trying to do it with a very small vehicle, but you've got a much bigger thing doing it now. Thank you to your 7-year-old. It's bloody amazing. It can chill now. Like it can retire. It can be a
Yeah. Yeah, she's going to have a really big sleep now. She's just relaxed on a beanbag and she's just going to have a really lovely snooze.
Oh, that's perfect. That's her homework for the rest. That's perfect. That's her doing her job. That's great. That's her new job. Let her know that from you. Thank her for her service. And this is her new happy retirement. She just gets to do what she fancies. So I was multitasking during this. So I want you to just integrate that, Hermione. So just breathe and be with that. So while you're integrating that, Hannah, I just was asking things to clear for you. What's happening with your head?
I just feel like something like sitting next to me and it's glued to my right side brain. So weird. And so when I'm trying to stand up, it's like I'm dizzy and stuff. So I just feel like something is like stuck into.
I'm getting that it's something that's attached to you, and it may come from a client. I don't know if that resonates. So
Maybe.
I'm just going to ask Source to, I'm going to do a quickie here. I'm going to ask to run the reversal alchemy to clear anything in the way of all parts of you, allowing this to release. And I'm going to ask for it to release with the True Sovereignty Clearing Activation Protocol and with the dragons. And I want to identify anything hidden that we're not knowing, that we're not seeing. Extracting the old clearing activation protocol, running that to extract anything hidden, anything underlying, any inserts. Also, if there's any gap in your aura, any tear in your aura, I'm going to ask for it to be repaired. Any place where stuff is coming in. I'm going to ask to heal the origin of anything that caused it to get tampered with. Anything other dimensional, healing you throughout the dimensions, running the multidimensional soul integration process. Happening. Still there?
Yeah, it's funny. It's just I felt like it was like fading away as you were clearing. It's like wow. Yeah.
It's gone.
Yeah. It feels like it's gone. It's funny sensation in my brain, but yeah.
Do you need anything else around here? Do you need light?
Yeah.
Maybe. Okay, let's just bring in the light, your aura, and your head. Filling any gaps with light.
Mm.
So I'm going to ask us all to ground back in from all that. I'm going to ask to bring back our energies wherever we've been traveling to any dimensions. Bring it all back down. Call it down through your crown, coming down through your central pillar of your chakra column. Down, down, down. Bring your energies down, down through your legs, down through your feet. Grounding it down into the earth, into the new earth, into the healed earth. And then allowing your energy to seal around you in a cocoon of light that feels nice and safe and protected. Ground that cocoon that's nicely sealing up your energy field. Let's close down any psychic centers so we come back to this reality, and let's ground that into the earth, into the new earth. Grounding, anchoring, coming home. Is there something Aurora's needing? Is that what that means? Okay, I'm aware of time and that we said 90 minutes. I just want to check. Alba, where are you at? If you need to leave, you can go, but I can hang around.
Okay. So yeah, I would say go ahead with Aurora and I'll jump off.
Is there anything you want to say?
Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, it's all so beautiful and it's amazing demonstration of your process. And like, I just wanted to say the whole time I've been on the call, it's been so wonderful to look how, like, to observe and like feel how authentically everyone is just being the embodiment of what's coming through and their energy. And there's no like masks or anything. And that's such a rare thing. So thank you to everyone for the work that you've done to get to this point, because it's no small feat. And thank you, Sabrina. And thank you, Hermione, for sharing your process as well. And see you all very soon. And I'll speak with you, Sabrina. And so Aurora, sorry I couldn't stay, but you're in beautiful hands.
Thank you so much, Alba, for helping me hold space here.
Thank you. It's been beautiful. Thanks, Sabrina. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Hannah.
Thank you.
Bye.
So, great. So, thank you, Hermione. Are you okay, Hermione?
Yeah, I just want to voice something out loud, so I'm just not holding it.
Aurora, hold on there. I want to finish Hermione fully.
And there's maybe you already did it, but it hasn't clocked in my conscious mind, but there's something about letting go of old ways of trying to find nourishment and releasing those unhealthy, toxic threads of the way I have been nourished, and to find new nourishment.
Great. Well, let's set that intention. Let's ask to do exactly what you've just said, to release the old threads. Let's ask your higher self to assist you in that, the blue diamond field. Hope you feel safe in releasing those threads and knowing that there are new ways that are there for you to discover in your new structure. So we're not just releasing you into nothingness. We are decluttering because we have new furniture to bring in. There's lots of new nice furniture and drawers and special treats and things for you to discover.
Yeah, so threads on the outside of my, whatever the name was, have been cut, and I've been connected up and down to source, cosmic and earth source. Great.
Fantastic. Thank you for voicing that. That's so important to voice those little thoughts that come up because they're guiding us.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Oh, it's such a pleasure. Are you okay to hang out for a little bit longer?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Aurora, what's happening?
So my teenager has some issue around anger. Like, she's learnt that when she's dissatisfied, she gets frustrated and angry, and she gets stuck in that energy. So it's like, it's not fair, it's not working out, it's not what I want, I don't like it. And she's a bit like shooting off this energy in lots of different directions and just wanting to blow everything up. So there's
Is that what was happening during that process? Or
yeah, towards the end. So like, the process was freaking awesome, but it was just like, got to this point of her being like, yeah, just like she had absorbed a lot of anger and frustration, I think, from my uncle not being satisfied in his job. And so in some way, I'm continuing that, like, I'm keeping that going. So just like continuing to live in dissatisfaction, and not even really having a very clear goal of anything that I actually do want. Just like blinded by the anger and the like focus of dissatisfied. I'm dissatisfied.
can I ask a question which you may or may not know the answer consciously, but I'm just going to say it and see what your intuitive answer is. Is this your anger? Is this her anger? Or is it somebody else's anger?
No, I can like feel in my stomach, there's in my like solar plexus, this like, I am dissatisfied with how the masculine shows up in the world when it's not getting what it wants. It just blames others, and it never takes responsibility for, up to now, in my experience of the past, it didn't take responsibility for its own anger and frustration. It caused it itself.
Yeah. Okay. So, thank you to this part of you that's shown up to express this. What this is. Are you okay with me running some clearing on this right now?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just gonna ask, and Hermione, you can just chill, or if there's any insights you have or anything you want to contribute, please do. Do what feels right for you, because you're just integrating something. Holding space is already doing lots, but I just want to say that space is open. Okay, so I'm just going to bring in the True Sovereignty Clearing Activation Protocol, because there's some bits of this that feel merged with some other energy somehow. So I just want to like get some clarity, clear out energies that aren't yours around this. And also I'm going to run the shadow alchemy clearing activation protocol, which works on the shadow aspects,
Mm.
how this relates to the masculine out there and to your relationship with your inner masculine is what I'm
Yeah.
thinking. And what your inner teenager represents around that. And if the inner masculine or the inner anger was suppressed.
I'm getting like some insight around like the females in my family pointing blame on the men.
Yeah, good point. Good point. So let's clear the projections. Let's clear the projections from wherever they've come, the blame. This is a collective thing as well. On the true sovereignty clearing, let's pull and clear and extract, blame, the projections, other people's stories, ideas, feelings. The errant coding that's been held in the grids around this. Both old grids, collective ones actually as well is what I'm getting.
Yeah, I'm feeling that. It's like a men blaming women, women blaming men.
Yeah, what I'm hearing is it's like you're holding that in your cells, this collective thingy, this collective wall being held in your cells. If you want to, you can be free of it. Like you don't have to hold it. Like maybe holding it was interesting to you, maybe it taught you stuff, maybe there was insight, I don't know. You want to keep holding it? What would you want?
I can. My hand is so tight, like around it, and it hurts me. So my nails are digging into my hand. It's so tight, and there's some pleasure in the pain of it. So like, if I can feel this pain, then I'm feeling something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I have this idea that I want to move towards more pleasure, but it just seems like a dream, or it seems too wispy an idea to be able to experience pleasure.
Yeah. Okay. Do I have your permission to work with this? Even if
Yes, yeah.
want to hold on to the pain, does the bigger you want to let it go? Not yet.
I mean, like, it's uncomfortable, and it's like, well, what's a bit more discomfort for a little bit longer? It's a bit like that. It's a bit of a collapse.
I wanted to get your consent though on what I'm doing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
So I'm going to run the true sovereignty clearing activation protocol with everything you've said, and any double bind, ambivalence around letting go of pain, because pain is also pleasure, because of all the learned stuff around that and how it helped you, survived. Fear of being without it. What am I going to be? What am I going to do? Who am I going to be? I'm just channeling, take what resonates, leave the rest.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Calling on all of our combined resources and guides here to support you with this. So you're channeling something quite powerful, I think, for collective here. Doing it from your DNA. And all the old grids can collapse. All the old grids that have held this old house of cards up. Again, we just did that for Hermione and for all of us, but I feel like another structure needs to come in, you know, to hold you maybe on your true essence. It's your true gift here of being, the true being, the true, I don't know what the words are, like what you're really here to embody at this stage. Allowing it to land. So, because what's possible at this stage is those of us who've been wounded healers over and over and over and over again during lifetimes, which has served its purpose, right? So there's nothing wrong about that. But there's an option now where we can actually no longer, we don't have to embody that archetype if we don't want to. We don't have to hold the suffering on the world in our bodies to heal the world anymore. We don't have to take it all in like that. Do you know what I mean? It's like it helped us learn compassion, understanding, like perfect. But if we don't want it anymore, we can actually let it go now. Like, we're all old souls in this circle here. Like, I think we've had enough experiences to like get a sense to be able to help people, right? Do you agree? Okay. So let's shed that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I feel like we need to do like a ritual of gratitude, a dispatcher offering.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All the learning and the gifts. It's expanded our hearts. It's expanded our intuitions, our wisdoms, our wounds. Like, oh, we've been able to hold so much. Oh, isn't that incredible? And I desire to experience pleasure in this incarnation. I desire to play. I desire to free. I desire to have life force energy flowing through me that's just free. That's how I can impact this beautiful world with my joy, my love, with my pleasure. And create a new world that way. I don't have to recycle that old info. So let's get rid of the old cookies. Using an IT analogy, like let's just clear the decks, the old cookies, the old like bits that are still stored in our system around all of that. Like, we're clearing the decks. We're doing a reset of the whole operating system. Downloading the new Earth grid of this new way of being. For you, Aurora, for all of us who want to receive it at this stage. And on the true sovereignty clearing, shedding all the old errant coding, false structures, cords that cord us to old stuff or people or things or whatever's worlds, dimensions, planet, whatever it is that is in the way of what I've just said. Let the blue flame burn through stuff. It's clearing. I feel like I need to drum. If you want to make a noise, you can make a noise with me. You can just tone if you want. You can tone if you want. You don't have to do it if you don't want.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay, what's happening? What are you feeling?
it's good. It's like the joy's coming back. It's like the joy's coming back. It's like hearing singing and it's joyful. It's like play in my heart, something like that.
Great. Good. Is it feeling more grounded, more safe, more da 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 da?
It was always grounded and safe, this experience. What do I feel? Yeah, I feel grounded and safe. It's just like kind of just stuff moving.
Yeah.
Moving.
Yeah. And stuff might continue to move after today.
Yeah.
Wow, thank you so much for bringing yourselves. Hermione, how are you doing? You all right?
Yeah, I really benefited from what Aurora brought as well. So thank you.
So thank you for being part of this joyous experiment today, and for coming on. I loved it, and yeah, I'm just following my inspired flow at the moment. So when the when the inspiration comes to do something like this, I do it. For those of you who are curious, watching the replay as well, who want to know about if they can be in more of these kind of spaces with me regularly, I have a membership group where we do this once a month, and where we, bring our staff, sisterhood circle. I mean, men are welcome too, but I mean, it's a circle. So far, it's women only, but where we bring our stuff, we share, we heal, we clear. Everybody's stuff connects to everyone else's, and we do magic together in sacred space. So I have that as a healing offering. And then people that want to do more of the practitioner training piece can come and join that, and the places where I teach about the grid work and the stuff that I do, and impart whatever I can impart from my experience and my knowledge, and what the new stuff channeling through. But also very much the focus is on activating people's unique gifts. So I don't want people that come in there to become clones of me. I'm just sharing what I know, which is like, hey, I've learned a bunch of stuff. Let me tell you what it is, so you don't have to do a billion courses to learn it. And at the same time, let's liberate your gifts, and let's help you with your business and what you're creating in the world and whatever it is. And this makes sense for people that are space holders, healers, coaches, psychologists, psychotherapists, trainers. That's the sort of the mastermind practitioner side of it. And the two groups converge together. So there's some things that we do together, like some of the healing calls, and then the practitioner training gets much more access to me for the other stuff. And if people want to know more, I'll be sharing, in the next month or two, ways to join. I'm reopening the doors, basically wanting to get new people in for November. And I haven't tuned in yet how many times a year I'll open the doors in the future, but for people that want to join this year, this is the time, because then it'll be 2025 when I reopen. So, but there's no, pressure to join. It's like if it feels like right and it's the right time. The practitioner training, it's really important that we have a chat if I've never met the person. So I like application. So it's I want the right people. I want to make sure it's the right people in the right space. So if you want to do that, you can message me to have a chat about it. I did a really powerful experience in August with the Lionsgate that I absolutely loved. And I've been tuning in, and maybe I'll ask Hermione her thoughts, but please, I don't want to put spotlights at all, but I'm doing it anyway. Sorry, not sorry. I've been getting the kind of call, the feeling, the excitement to want to like do another version of that for the equinox in September, when I'm going to be up in the mountains. I'm going to be in my beloved shamanic healing heart field space up in my Italian mountains in the very unspoilt nature, where I get lots of channeling. Hermione, does that feel like something? What do you reckon?
Yeah, sounds amazing, because that Lionsgate portal was amazing. It was like this, but more. Yeah, and I think doing things on those pivotal points of the year just feels so potent.
Yeah, that's what I was feeling. Because it's like I've got my ongoing stuff that I do all the time that I love, but I really like I love doing that potent time of the year. And there was something about like the concentrated time, because we did a week's immersion. Like we were all like concentrated intentionally. So I got so much from it, from my own transformation. So it's also selfish. It's like, I'm going to be in the mountains. I'm going to be in my inspired space. So I'm like, and when we did the Lionsgate, I had recorded videos of when I'd been to the mountains before that I shared with people that had activations embedded. But I'm going to be back there live, so I can like go and get some new ones live. So I'm like, oh my God, I want to do it. So I'm feeling into it. So, okay, I'm getting a nod from you. So my desire is to put it out there, and so that'll be the next offering that's available, apart from everything else I've just said. And I'm also available for one-to-one sessions for people that want to go deeper and have more time and space, and to talk through, stuff emotionally, So that's me. Any questions? Any comments? Anything? Yeah.
What a team. It's such a team thing. It's like it's like one speaking their truth has an effect on the whole. That's what I feel.
Yeah.
And like your share, like all of the sharings had an influence on me as well that was super beneficial.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, that's what I find happens in groups. It's like that's what's possible for us. It's like magnified times 1,000. I love doing one-to-ones. I absolutely love the intimacy of that. So it's not like it's a substitute for that, but there's something else that happens. No, it's like
Yeah. Yeah, every one of these I've been to has been exactly like that. You know, as you say before, everyone has a piece of the jigsaw and someone shares something and everyone's like, yes, that applies to me as well. Yeah, these are such wonderful spaces that you hold, Sabrina.
thank you. Thank you for saying that. My projector likes hearing that. It helps me do what I do. And that's an important ingredient of owning our power and our magic, is to fully be ourselves so that we can attract the people that can actually appreciate that, because I'm not going to be everybody's cup of tea, let's face it. And so the more you're authentically you, the more you're going to bring in the people that actually appreciate that. And it's important that you receive feedback too and learn from that, but also get nourished by that. Like, we need nourishment. Space holders. It's very important to whatever we offer with our medicine that it's something that nourishes us at the same time. So when I hold these spaces, I receive, I get nourished, I get healing. And so I've learned that I need to offer things in formats that really nourish me. If I'm trying to offer it in a format that's like trying to squeeze into something that I think other people want, but it's not really the way it's going to nurture my nervous system, let's face it, first of all, I'm not going to manifest it. I'm not going to bloody, but luckily, my body doesn't let me do anything that's not right for me. So it would just actively sabotage its creation.
What a gift.
Yeah, what a gift. Thank you. But it is a gift.
Yes.
It is a gift. And that's why we're never behind. We're never fucking it up. We're never wrong. It's never a wrong path. It's like, it's part of our journey of learning and discovering who we are. And we can only learn and discover that through breaking ankles and all of that. Having said that, it doesn't mean I have to keep going through those kinds of ways of learning to learn. So both and. It's like, that's really helped me until now. And because I'm listening more closely and so committed to living my truth, my body doesn't have to necessarily give me such violent lessons. But this is part of a trial and error journey that is very human. That's why I really believe that we're never in the wrong place. We're never missing something. Everything's unfolding exactly as it needs to unfold. And we have choices more than we ever thought we had. So hopefully that example earlier of the wounded healer was helpful in that sense. It's like, just because that's worked in a sense until now also doesn't mean we have to keep doing it that way either. Like, we have infinite choices as conscious creators also. So I love talking to both of those things. It's the paradox of embracing acceptance in a way of our human condition, but also the flip side of that is realizing we can initiate much more than we up till now have been conditioned to believe we can. Sounds like a paradox. It possibly is, but that's life. But these are the core bits that I have found to be true that I need to keep remembering. So if I veer too much in one side and I forget about the other, I'm out of balance. So if I get so excited about, oh my God, I'm a conscious creator, I can manifest anything I want, which is true in a sense, and it happens, I can get very frustrated when things aren't going the way I'm trying to make happen. And that's when I need to go back into surrender and actually acceptance, because there's a piece there that wants to be held in a particular way and discovered. And it's, and then if I'm so much in that mode, I might stay in my comfort zone forever and never actually take risks of believing something different and new as possible and actually going and creating it. So that part of me that wants to drive me to my ultimate dream has driven me to be where I am now with you, has driven me to create the modality I've created, because otherwise I wouldn't even have thought that was possible. So I guess those would be my parting thoughts. I don't even know if I said all the key ingredients to whatever the bloody title of this thing was. I'm sure I only just said a very small amount of what this topic could have been. But I guess that's what came through today. I hope that was helpful.
really helpful.
Oh, thank you. And I'm just so grateful for your presences, all of you who came, and all of you who are here right now. I feel very nourished and thankful. So
Yeah, I'm really aware of my cosmic space that we created as I'm sitting here with you right now.
that's so beautiful. Thank you for creating this cosmic place for us too, Hermione.
Oh,
Okay, I will close this call now. I will then figure out how to share it in the Facebook group or whatever. And I'll put it on YouTube, I think, as well. So it's going to be in various places. But thank you so much, and sending so much love to you all.
thank you, Sabrina. Lovely to meet your aura.
Same. Big love.
Bye.
Bye.